Hi, and welcome back. Today I want to talk about sleeping and taking care of your fistula to make sure nothing happens to it while you're asleep. So, if you have a loved one that likes to sleep with you and you like to put your arm out and have your loved one lay on your arm, don't do it on the fistula side. Believe it or not, heads, no matter if even if it's a child or if it's a full-grown adult, if you have your fistula in this arm and your adult head or even a child's head, as a matter of fact, even I'd say a medium-sized dog or cat lays on your fistula arm, what can happen, unfortunately, is I've heard a few people have to go in and get their fistula fixed because it cut off the vein that is attached to your fistula. So whatever arm or even leg that you have for a fistula, don't. Now this can happen. This has happened many times to another one of my friends at dialysis, where they've put their arm out and their loved one will come up and lay on their chest, and then somehow that their head will roll back, and you're sound asleep and you can't really feel anything, even the slightest, well, not slightest, but a decent amount of pressure from someone's head or their neck or their paw can cut it off. And what happens is you've got to go into the hospital and you have to have your fistula reopened. And again, what they'd have to do is wherever your fistula is, cut it open, ream it out so that it comes back to where it should be. And I have heard of some cases where they had to start in another arm. And you guys, you really don't want to do that. So if you want to cuddle up with one of your loved ones or your animals or whatever it is that you sleep with at night, make sure that there's not a lot of pressure on your arm. And if you don't know whether you're going to wake up or right away to get them to move or fall straight asleep, you don't know, because if you're sleeping, you're out of it, you don't really know. So use the opposite arm. Do not have anybody lay on this arm, an animal, a human being, anything, okay? Because that can result in going to the hospital. If they can save it, they'll save it. If not, they will have to start somewhere else. Either way, it's a hospital visit and you don't want to do that. Another thing I wanted to share with you, and I make these, well, we make these, is here's my fistula. So when I go out during the day in the garage or even to the store, I put a little bit of a sleeve on. They don't make these in the store. We make these, so if you want one of these, you let me know. What this does is, and then you always wear a long sleeve if you can. If you can't and it's too hot, just let me know, contact me. I don't know what to charge for it right now, but we have made a few of these for me because, I'm out doing a little bit at a time, and accidents happen. You can scrape your arm, but if you scrape your arm where your fistula is usually pretty close to the top. You can run into things, you can scrape things, a bush can scrape you, even paper scrapes. So what I do is I just put this sleeve over top of it, and it gives me extra protection against anything else. So that was the other thing I wanted to show you about protecting your fistula. Okay. Another thing is you've got to be very careful with gloves. Whatever side that your fistula is, if you have a forearm fistula, is gloves. Okay. My fistula is on this arm. But do you see this band? There's a band at the end that kind of keeps your glove on. I've noticed that it's too tight. And even if I take it down around to this spot and inside of my thumb, instead of out trying to warm my fingers here, because our fingers do get cold, you have to be really careful. So if you have to wear gloves during dialysis because your fingers get cold, make sure there's not a really tight band. And if there is, have your loved one stretch it out as much as they can. And if you can, when you put the glove on, leave your thumb out okay, so that your fingers, and then you can, hold it that way. But I would not recommend putting it over and having that band go around your wrist, because it is part of your fistula. It is part of the vein and the artery if yours is low enough. But even if it's a little higher, just be careful, because cutting off the circulation, that's your lifeline. Without this, we really wouldn't be alive, right? Because we wouldn't have a place to clean. Okay, so that was the glove. If you like to wear this type of jewelry and you put it around your wrist, I don't like to put it on. I'll put it around my other one to show you. It's kind of, see how tight it is to kind of get it on? Even though you may have like a couple fingers loose, it can get caught on anything. If you fall asleep and this thing starts to twist on you or comes right up to, see how easy that was to come right up to my forearm, and you're asleep or you're doing something and you just don't realize it, again, these type of wrist bracelets, they're difficult, and if they cut off the circulation, you're in trouble. So beware of these. Don't wear these if you have to. I wouldn't. I just wouldn't do it. Surgery, I don't like surgery. I don't like going to the hospital because I made an error. Really, you guys don't want to. It's expensive and it's scary, and you make the choice on what you're going to put on your wrist. Even a Band-Aid, a lot of people, or Band-Aid, a rubber band, they like to use these and play with them. And a lot of people use these as reminders on what to do at the end of the day. That's what I've heard. Or some people like to do this on their pressure points. Again, this can get twisted anywhere. Even though this is pretty small, I've heard of people that have accidentally forgotten that they were up there and it rolled all the way up and it cuts the circulation off. So there you go, rubber band. A watch. Even if you put your watch on and it is loose, it could cause a very big issue. Again, a hospital visit. Most people have timepieces on their phones, so don't at all costs, if you can, don't wear a watch, because it can cut off the circulation as well. And again, here is just another item for a wrist jewelry that you want to stay away from, even though, again, it may be small, or you may have enough room in it. You could fall asleep on it, and it could cut the circulation off of your fistula, so you don't want to do that. Now, if you have like a towel, a small towel or a cloth, what you really want to do to exercise your fistula, and what I mean by that is around your fistula so that you get a better grip, is just kind of take a towel and with your fingers just do this about 5 or 6 times. You can take a big towel, like a bath towel, and kind of roll it up, and this will exercise your forearms and your fingers. It'll help build muscle around this so that there's not a lot of extra skin hanging down. And then when you take off your Band-Aid and you've got that extra skin, you're going to bruise yourself, or it's going to, it's just going to rip the sides out. So I would recommend exercising your forearm. You can get this is a kidney, a little sponge kidney, and you can start exercising your forearm. And in the long run, it'll make the life of your fistula last longer. It'll help exercise your fingers and your forearm. You want to have muscle around this side, both sides really, for grip, to pick up milk and things like that, of that nature. And you can do this with your fingers too. This really helps. It does. It will elongate the life of your fistula if you give it some muscle around the sides. Okay? That's what I've been doing for the last several years to keep this, my forearm and my fistula strong. Okay. For those of us that have hair on our arms, what I do is I will take this size of a shaver, or you can use this kind of a beard shaver, around your fistula, not on top of the scabs, just around your fistula, kind of get rid of those hairs, and then take a shaver and gently have yourself, if you've got a steady hand, go over the top. I would recommend doing this next to a window with the sunlight coming through, so you can see where there's hair right on top of your fistula, and then clean it off. Keeping it clean and non-hairy. Hairs are great. They protect our skin, right? But they also can pick up germs pretty quickly too. So you always want to shave them off. I shave my entire arm, and then I come back and I'll take a regular shaver and I'll go to a window with sunshine in it to where I can see the hair, so I don't have to guess with bad light. So I usually wait until the morning time, and then I will shave on the top of it very gently. If you don't have a steady hand, have your caregiver do this for you very, very slowly. And then when you're done, of course, wash it off and then pat it dry. And then, of course, apply your ice if you haven't iced yet that day. So you use one of these shavers, or I use one of these. And then a regular face shaver for the guys, or a leg shaver for the girls on top of the arm. But get rid of the longer hairs if you have one of these with this. It's just easier. It doesn't pull against the skin. You really don't want anything damaging your fistula at all. So one or the other of these, plus a small shaver. Something to exercise with. This is really kind of neat, actually, because you can put your thumb in this and squeeze it that way too. Okay, so exercise your forearms and your fingers. I have some of these, you guys, and I'm thinking about actually, my caregiver and I are thinking about making these for those of you that would like to have a little cloth or nylon or whatever material protector for your fistula, and then just have it with you when you're out. It gives you that extra padding just in case something happens. I mean, anything can happen, and I don't, like I've said to you many times, I don't like to go to the hospital. I'm sure that you guys don't either. So we've devised this, and it works for me. Be careful, you guys, not to wear this on your fistula side. I don't care if your fistula is way up here or way over there. Just be careful of the wrist jewelry. And this is just one example. Here's another example of wrist jewelry. And of course the rubber band. Stay away from this, you guys. And a watch. So if you have a fistula on one side, just get used to wearing it on the other side. And gloves. A lot of people in dialysis get cold just like I do, but the only remedy to that would be to put a glove on, but don't put it over, don't use the thumb part. So take it off, wrap it down, and then kind of tuck it under. And that way you're staying away from these your main fistula veins, and you can keep your fingers warm, and then you can just tuck your thumb into this and then close it. Okay, that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. Again, please like and subscribe and let me know where in the world that you guys are watching this from. I appreciate you guys taking your precious time to view my video, and I have lots more to come. I just wanted to make sure that I shared that with you today about not cutting off your fistula just by mistake. And the last one, which was the first one I showed you, is don't fall asleep and have your loved one or your animal fall asleep on your fistula arm, because it could cut off the circulation. And then when you get into dialysis, you don't know why you're not getting an optimal clean or why the machine keeps beeping, because you're not getting adequate flow in and out, and that's because the vein was collapsed. And while you were sleeping, or while a loved one or an animal came up and laid on your arm, be very careful. I like to separate my arm from my loved one. I usually have a separate pillow on this side, and we always make sure that she puts her, if she's going to lay with me or cuddle with me, that it's on the opposite side of my fistula. Okay, you guys, have a wonderful day, and I will see you soon.